All right, everyone. Welcome to this Lunar Eclipse Sidereal Astrology forecast for the days surrounding Friday, July 27th, 2018. All right, so Lunar Eclipse in Capricorn. If you were expecting me to say Aquarius, be sure to check out the link down below for more information. We're using the actual size of the constellations called True Sidereal Astrology. So very powerful time here, lunar eclipse in a very close conjunction up to the South Node and Mars retrograde. So very deep time, I think, with these eclipses, with the South Node specifically. It is about clearing and releasing a lot of past energy, right? This could be, you could say, from past life, but also past earlier in this life as well. So the lunar eclipse is the full moon type of energy, which illuminates all this. So illuminating the South Node, right? So becoming aware of this past energy. So with this, it's a great time to be aware of it, to accept what does come up and arise. A lot of this is from the unconscious. And it's through that acceptance that we essentially heal, transform, and continue along our life journey. And that's very much what the nodes are about. What the life path is about is another shift in the right direction along our journey. So we're going to look at that along with some of the aspects. There's a square up to Uranus, sextile up to Chiron. We also have Venus trining up to Pluto, kind of supporting all of this. So let's take a look at all of this here in more detail when we return. All right, so here's the chart for the lunar eclipse. The actual full moon of the lunar eclipse will be at 15:37 Eastern time on Friday. We are going to look at this for the surrounding days of the eclipse. Here on the 27th is Friday, so we'll look at this for Thursday and Saturday. All right, so lunar eclipse in Capricorn. Again, very close to the South Node, will be a total lunar eclipse. And so this really emphasizes the transformative energies of this. Again, the South Node is very much the deep psyche, right? You could even say the past karma, right? All of this deeper unconscious stuff that now comes to the forefront during the illumination of the lunar eclipse. So great to become aware of this stuff. We're likely going to notice through this that we're wanting to do some clearing and some releasing. That's essentially what the South Node is. It's the part of the path that is the path behind us. It's what we're letting go of. It's where we're coming from, but also moving from, right, in the other direction. Of course, this is a time of going into this direction for now to become aware of these deeper things. And it's not about pushing anything away. It's actually about going deep into it to become aware of it and accept whatever does arise. So this could be past patterns, past tendencies, concerns. The South Node can very much be unconscious concerns and yearnings, and again, even deep things like traumas and fears. So as we do this inner work, as we shed this bring this conscious light to the unconscious realm here, it helps balance it out and helps us do what is this natural clearing, energy of releasing whatever we accept, because it's through that acceptance we notice that this past energy doesn't want to be held on to, right? Our unconscious, us, we don't want to hold on to it. So as we accept it, we sort of rise above it. It's no longer above us or, heavy on us, and we allow it to go. We release it. So definitely a transitionary type of energy. This is going to be subtle going into next week, and it's very much involving the life path for, you could say, our whole life, of course, but specifically this whole solar cycle, so this yearly cycle. Okay, so this is in many ways the halfway point of if 6 months ago you did set off on some sort of new journey in your life, internally or externally, and now it's the halfway point. Time to become aware of these deeper things, do this status check, and then sort of release. Not push away, but allow to let go. And that'll happen naturally through this awareness, this sort of pivot. And what we'll notice for the next 6 months is because of this deeper energy being worked out, we're lighter and we're naturally transitioning into what feels like a new type of direction. We'll likely notice some sort of pivot or shift on our life path here around the Friday time period. Okay, so looking at this specifically with Capricorn, this is the energy that has to do with, usually with the South Node, it does bring out the imbalanced qualities of the planets or signs that are associated with it. So with Capricorn, becoming aware of if there are any sides of ourself that we are releasing that has to do with our detachment, our sort of more cold side, right, detached side, or anything that has to do with heavy responsibilities or heavy burdens, things like this are usually the extremes of Capricorn. So these types of energies are being cleared. And again, through this awareness, developing the healthy qualities of Capricorn, which is healthy patience, seeing that things do take time, healthy responsibility, assuming responsibility for what is actually our responsibility, and then also discipline, right? Capricorn is all about that inner discipline, right? Seeing things in that committed, grounded, responsible approach. So this is the illumination. This is the shift. Now Mars is very close to this South Node, very close to this lunar eclipse, and he is retrograde. So we've already been experiencing some of this the past, it's been months now since Mars has passed over the South Node and is now retrograde back over it. But maybe specifically over the past couple weeks, when Mars went back over the South Node, we've been experiencing this sort of reflection on our deep needs and desires. What is it we truly want on that deeper level? And so this is also now becoming, that awareness, that insight's coming in about these deeper needs, deeper desires, who we are on that deep level. And so because it's the South Node, we may also notice with this some of the imbalanced energies of Mars, which might be deep angers, frustrations, right? Things that we feel like we want to break free from, especially with a square to Uranus, which we'll talk about, right? These deep sort of desires, needs, and almost instinctual stuff that we feel like we need to combat, right? Or force, or, really, get deep with. But in that sort of, way that we want it, we're holding on really tight to what we want. And so through this awareness of this, it's going to help also balance it out. So then the healthy qualities of Mars come through, which is again part of this transition. And this will be the motivation, drive, a little bit more clarity on who we are and what we want, although that's still in reflection, which is the Mars retrograde until the end of August. All right. This type of thing, this transition with now the more balanced Mars, which could say the masculine side of ourselves and of the collective. Okay, so that is the most important part of this lunar eclipse. Now there is that square to Uranus, who has been slowly going into Aries. Again, if you're expecting me to say Taurus, do check the link down below. But subtly going into this sign before he's about to go retrograde, so it won't be far into it until next year. But this is also like that Mars energy, Aries, right? And with Uranus, with a square, it can be feeling like we do want to, make some big changes for freedom in our life, to break free, to disrupt, feeling restless, maybe limited, right? Wanting to break free from those limitations, this type of stuff. So good to be conscious of that. Uranus does represent the aspect of our deep self, or you could say our higher self, that wants freedom, wants change, right? So listening to that, but then doing so consciously, setting the intention to implement those changes and that freedom in constructive ways. And again, with that patience, which is what this whole lunar eclipse is regarding, involving Capricorn. All right, and then on a very minor note, a sextile to Chiron. So it's actually nice to see Chiron an easy aspect to this. Chiron, the wounded healer, an easy aspect usually is supporting any type of healing, whether it's mental, emotional, spiritual, or physical, that there's an opening to do on some level. And it's through doing some of that healing that it can support this lunar eclipse energy. All right, so that's the lunar eclipse in a nutshell. A lot of this, again, is about this awareness of the Capricorn, but again, it's this transition of the life journey, and specifically to learn about Cancer energy, right? When we talk about, lunar eclipses and full moons, it's important to bring in the opposite side to it, the balance, the counterpart side. And this is Cancer. If Capricorn's all about the detached, responsible, perspective on things and our achievements and things like this, Cancer represents all of the personal and emotional. So it's a really good time to become more aware of and just be willing to learn more about ourselves and life and our relationships. That has to do with how we can create protective environments and nurture and care for ourselves and others, right? And get into this reflective energy, this emotional energy to connect to our soul and our feelings and our roots and all of that, balancing out what is this more, again, transitionary, colder, detached Capricorn type of energy. And this is, again, the North Node. So this is what we're learning about. If what we're releasing is the Capricorn, what we're learning about is the healthy qualities of Cancer, which is that, again, emotional connection, security, these roots, things that are important in life for us to feel secure, emotionally secure. All right, so deep lunar eclipse, those are the most important things. We also do have Venus trining up to Pluto. So this isn't necessarily activated by it, but it is happening at the same time. So along with this, feeling empowered maybe with relationships, maybe there's support coming in with relationships, or we're just feeling more of this greater sense of self-value with Venus trine Pluto. And we're willing to dive deep, maybe with relationships, connect with others. Again, just feeling maybe empowered in our sense of value and also enjoyments in life too, like enjoying earth and grounded energy and the material life and all this kind of stuff can also support what is this transitionary time period. All right, so that's the lunar eclipse. Again, just kind of become aware of it. It's natural releasing taking place. There's really nothing to do with the South Node as much as it's about becoming aware of this energy and accepting it, and then it happens very naturally. But there is this releasing. We'll likely notice as we get into the weekend, this, again, lighter energy, this transition from doing this sort of awareness work, you could say, with this eclipse. All right. So have a fantastic lunar eclipse, everyone. Thank you for watching. Thank you again for all of your likes, comments, and shares with these videos. Don't forget to hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe as well. And I will see you all on Sunday for the Sunday forecast, actually. I'll see you Saturday for the Sunday forecast. Take care.